The Need for Standard Operating Procedures for Unexpected Events by International Journal of Advanced Research. Working life has become quite different from 20 years ago. Decision-making mechanisms and procedures are becoming more important as more advanced technology is added. Procedures play an important role against quality, environmental, health, and safety problems. People often learn or remember how to do things according to the procedures. SOP is a written set of rules that specify in advance and in detail how an organization is set up to perform a specific job, how it will function in an effective, harmonious, and conclusive manner, and who, where, when, and what needs to be done. It also includes information on how to share, what to record, who to report, and when to report. A standard operating procedures documents describing in detail the tasks and operations to be performed as standard. SOP is composed of the policies, procedures, and standards in the discipline of production, marketing, management that is needed to be successful. Some U.S. institutions have been involved in standard practice procedures. These studies have been carried out by taking into consideration the existing problems in real life. Many organizations do not have standard guidelines or even actively use them because of traditional causes, even if they have. In the absence of procedures for the constitution of a work, they rely on their previous training and experiences. This shows that there are no standard and good solutions in the organization and how things are done. Some traditional organizations have standards, but nobody uses them. In such situations, standards are often out of date and have lost their realities, so people know that it is not right to use them. SOPs have an important place in the disaster and emergency management system, especially suited for the intended purpose, full and complete and updated, and easy to understand. SOPs perform well in disaster management. SOPs written before the disaster are one of the essentials in order to get rid of the disruption when there is a disaster and to make a more effective and faster intervention. Today, the aim of standard operating procedures or SOPs is to ensure that all employees perform their performance in the same way. When all employees perform their tasks properly, it becomes possible to perform controlled experiments to test the effect of various changing process parameters. The purpose of standard operating procedures is usually to prevent dangerous errors. If there is a disaster, if there has not been a study before, there will be psychological injuries which will lose many lives and resources and will never return because of the weak interinstitutional coordination. However, as a fact in disaster management, if the fact that previously prepared individuals and societies in disasters have returned to normal life much quicker and much more rapidly, the SOP's procedures for establishing who, what, where, and how to do it in a holistic disaster management. The role of facilitating the return of socially effective societies to normal life and reducing the loss of life and property is important, of course, because the problems to be encountered with each hazard are different. It is necessary to do it separately according to each possible danger in the SOP. An SOP written for a flood may not produce appropriate solutions in the event of an earthquake. The SOP to be used during an earthquake cannot be applied for a landslide. The SOP to the possible depression or the SOP to the possible depression that is an industrial area must be different from the SOP to the residences in the same area. The development and use of SOPs leads to a reduction in quality and a minimum of diversity through the application of a process consistently within the organization, even if temporary or permanent staff changes. Benefits of SOPs in general: first, to state the consistency and quality of the institution. Second, ensuring good practices that have been achieved at all times. Third, use as an opportunity to benefit from the expertise of all members. Fourth, to allow other activities to be carried out at the same time. Fifth, preventing the mess related to who did the work. And sixth, use as a guide for the part-time workers and substitute employees. Seventh, being useful materials about the training of new members. And 8. Contribution to process control. As a result, it should be remembered that the main purpose is to increase the quality. The working staff should be convinced that this is a useful thing. They should have joined or they should join the employees in the work. How to determine the SOP type. Two factors are important for determining the SOP type. First, which decision should the user make during the procedure? The other one, how many digits and lower digits are there in the procedure? Routine procedures requiring fewer and fewer blackouts can be written using simple formats. It is necessary to use hierarchical or graphic formats in long procedures involving more than 10 steps and several decisions. Flowcharts should be used in procedures requiring further decisions. Concept of SOP. While the hierarchical step format contains many detailed substeps, it provides ease of use for experienced users. When procedures are written for very long activities, the administrators have to use the graphic form. The graphic format converts long processes into small sub-processes that contain only a few digits. Another possibility for graphic formats is to use diagrams and photographs to illustrate the procedure. In order to design comprehensive SOPs, it is useful to use these pictures with explanatory text. Paintings are in fact more valuable than thousands of words, and they are at any level, literate or understandable by employees' natural language. SOPs can be long or short. SOPs must be written in an easy-to-read format. SOPs must be up-to-date to be usable, and every institution should develop a numbering system to systematically identify and classify standard operating procedures or SOPs. Strategic plans, in other words, or master plans, are used by institution and ensure integration with the competent authority, and these plans provide a forecasting model for the present and future time. These plans define the agreements and relationships defined in the operations and set short for long-term objectives. SOPs should work together with strategic plans to achieve the objectives identified by the institutions. Further studies in this regard should be conducted in universities, public and private institutions. It is now a necessity to increase standard practices so that the adverse effects of disasters no longer increase. That's all.